gal Carlstadt stands up at it wasn't here, it was over at the community center, I think, wherever it was, I don't remember. But she says, every year I have a resolution to lose 20 pounds. I do this every year. And she said, I've never been successful at it. In fact, some years I gained weight. Until one day I attended one of these New Thought seminars on forgiveness. And she said, it changed my life forever. She said, because I used to look in the mirror and criticize my body. I was very negative. I determined that it looked ugly and I need to always have all these clothes on. I don't want anybody to see it. But after that seminar, my attitude changed. All of a sudden, I loved my body. And I thanked it. I started communicating with it. This is that mental universe I'm talking about. When we start talking to our body, we're talking to a community of 50 trillion cells that are intelligent, that respond to our thoughts. This universe is very fluid, and it responds. And so she thanked her body, and she said, I know, that, and I really appreciate you carrying my soul. And I know that I will have the most perfect weight that I could possibly have that's for my greater good. And you know what she said she did? She lost her 20 pounds. Isn't that awesome? Talk for Carol, because she's going the realization is this, and where I think we make our biggest error, is that we insult this creative life force when we so-called pray. Or we do treatment. I need this. I need that. And Pearl will remind me that I said this 20 years ago. You don't want to need anything. Because when we put in mind the idea that I need something, the universe responds and gives me the opportunity to need something all the time. So I'm always in that needing awareness. And so we need to learn how to communicate with Spirit. And the universe will respond in kind. The main thing is this. When I put the word need into prayer, I am insulting the source of all there is. Do you agree with that? I do. I think we're insulting Spirit. Because the source of all there is, everything we would ever need is already here for us. It's already available. All I have to do is create, and this is part of the art of allowing. I never got to it yet, which is the theme. See, Bob, I do it too. He totally ignores the themes. But part of this thing about allowing is creating a mental atmosphere that will open our consciousness up to the flow of our greater good. And to do that, we need to know how to communicate with Spirit. And when I say I need something, we're telling Spirit I don't already have it. And that's a direct confrontation with Spirit, because we have everything we need. All we have to do is be fully aware that our job is allowing. It's having a mental atmosphere that will allow the flow of this greater good into our life. It's riding our horse in the direction that it's going. That's what it's all about. There's a story that I just love Anthony DeMello. How many of you know about Anthony? He's good. He's a father, actually. I don't know if he's Jesuit, though. But anyway, I'm a Jesuit trained person. But anyway, Anthony DeMello said that life is a banquet. However, the tragedy is that most people are starving to death. That's what we're talking about. It's just being open, receptive to the greater good that's already there. And he told this little story. You may have heard it already. I'm going to say it because it's important. He said that these people were off the coast, about a mile off the coast of Brazil, on a raft. I don't know how they got there or why they were there. He didn't say. But he said, and they don't have fresh water. And every one of them perished from thirst. They did not know that their raft was on fresh water. That there was this huge river that was flowing out into the sea, pushing fresh water 2 miles into the ocean. And they weren't aware of it. And use that as a kind of an idea for each one of us. We are on a raft of fresh water. We've got all of our needs already there. We just need to create a mental atmosphere that will open our consciousness and open up the dynamics of this flow, so that we will have present all that. We don't need resolutions for that, because that's telling the universe, I don't have it yet, but I really need it. No. We already have it. We just need to create the mental atmosphere that will bring it into our experience. Wow. I did well. Yeah, you can talk if you want. I did that. Usually I go off into a tangent, as you are well aware, and don't focus enough. The masters of the Far East said that we need to, and Maggie's going to love this, she's in a perception now. The masters of the Far East said that we need to, for a seed to grow, it must burst its shell. Isn't that interesting? For us to grow, we need to burst our shell. What is our shell? Our shell is the false perception that we get our joy and happiness from people and things. That's ridiculous. It goes right back to resolutions. You know, we don't need things. Those are effects. They do not have power. Our things do not have power over us. As a matter of fact, when we're ready to leave the planet, you can't take one thing with you. If you're saving up on all these antiques and you treasure them, and my God, you're not going to be able to take one antique. I just hate to say this, but you can't take it with you. It ain't going to go. And the billionaires that hoard money and do all the things that they do, they can't take even one penny with them when they leave. So the core of everything is this love energy that we have, and realizing that we need to burst the seed, the shell of our perception, that we get our greater good from things. We don't. And so what should we be focusing on for the new year? Do we need to focus on things? Do we need to focus on having stuff? See, the idea of abundance is not the accumulation of a lot of stuff. That's not what abundance is. Abundance is the consciousness, the awareness that the universe provides us. Anything we would ever decide to need, all we have to do is open and have a mental atmosphere to bring it into our experience. That's what abundance is. So the goal, I think, for Angelo this year will be to be the best I can be in the moment. And that's going to be a tough one. And to be the best we can be, and to stay focused on the idea that I have all that I need. I don't have to ask for anything. But I do have to do my duty assignment, and that's to create a mental atmosphere that's receptive, allowing the flow that's naturally ours to come into our life. And one last thing I want to mention before we close is, and it's a beautiful book that Joanne gave me the CDs by Power. It's The Power by Byrne, Rhonda Byrne. She did the Secret book. It's awesome. She said that our thoughts and our belief systems and our feelings are sticky. Isn't that interesting? Sticky. When we start talking about the second theme, which is choosing, that everything we think and do and believe are sticky. What does that mean? If I look at someone and I say, my gosh, that's a loving energy of God itself. I'm so blessed to be in your presence, Mary. So blessed. What happens, it stickies to me too. It's love. And so what I put out there in that thought is love. And what do I experience then? I'm at that higher level of consciousness of love. And so I'm choosing. Actually, it's almost, we choose and we don't even know we're choosing. It's choosing love. If I'm angry and depressed, something bad has happened to me, and I'm resentful, I'm angry, what am I choosing for myself? All those words are sticking to me. And so rather than moving and transcending that notion of being irritable and upset, what I'm doing is bringing into my experience more opportunities to be angry, resentful. Do you agree with this? This is cool. So whatever we do, so if we're sitting there depressed, I'm not talking about you now, Chris. Chris and I, we're going through a few things with the Alliance. It's good. It's been good stuff. If I'm sitting there, and I'm not talking to you now, ignore me. If I'm depressed that so-and-so has done this and that, and I'm upset, I'm not going to transcend it. I'm going to sit there miserable, all right? I want to be upset. And the more I focus on that, throwing these daggers out there, the more they come back to me, because what I put out there comes back into my life. I get rid of all that crap. We don't need it anyway. And so I love this life. I love the family that I have. I love this spiritual family. I'm in and one and with this divine energy that flows through me, and I'm actually in doing all that. What am I doing? I'm riding my horse in the direction that it's going. Isn't that cool? Do you like that? Yeah. And so it is.